Now let's go ahead and handle when the user clicks on the OK button, and that will initiate the file transfer using AJAX. So I'm going to go ahead and in my OK function, all I need to do at this point is loop through each file in the files array and upload each one. And I'm going to upload each one individually to get under the maximum post size. So each individual file can be up to 32 megabytes, and then the total post will be about 32 megabytes as well. If I try to upload 20 or 30 images all at once, then the post size would be the multiple of the total of the size of each individual file. So files.forEach, and then I'm going to write a function called uploadFile that takes one file as a parameter. And then my upload file, I'll define down here. It's going to take a file parameter, which is going to be the file in the files array. And then the way I handle this is a little more complicated than what we've been doing with AJAX so far. So up till now we've been using get or post along with a form, and we've been serializing the inputs on that form to send them along in the AJAX request. And we've been using $get or $put to do that. But file upload, as we saw before, actually involves sending multi-part messages with boundaries. And there's really no way to do that using $.get or $.post. So we have to do something a little different. What we're going to do is we're going to create a form data object in JavaScript, and then we're going to set fields, virtual file fields, on that object. And then we're going to use a lower level AJAX interface to actually send the data across as if it was being a file upload form. So the way that looks is I'm going to create a new form data object. And then I'm going to use the append method of that object to add my file. And I want to give it a key, which is going to be basically the name of the form field on the form. And for now, I'll just say file. And then the actual value, which is the file itself. So what this is going to do is it's basically going to create something that looks like a form with a file type field on it. And the value that the user selected is going to be this file object. Then the AJAX part, I'm going to have to use $.AJAX, which is sort of a raw interface to the AJAX functionality. And it takes a URL to upload to. So this is going to go to Assets, Actions, and then I'm going to do one called Upload File. .php. So I have to write that. And then the second parameter to the AJAX method of jQuery is an object that has some options set. So the type is going to be post. Actually, let me use single quotes here. And then I also have to specify process data false. And what this does is it tells the AJAX method to just take the data that I'm going to pass it in raw format and not try to serialize it or convert it into text or anything like that. So it says basically ignore the data that I'm handing you. It's binary data. Don't try to process it further. And then I also have to set content type to false. And then I'm specifying the data itself, which is just that form itself. And then finally, I want to give it a success function to call when the upload is complete. And I'm going to write a function here but I'm not going to do anything just yet. I'll come back and fill that in a minute. So now I have a handler for the OK button that uploads each file one at a time using AJAX. For upload file, I'm just going to stub this for now, so it's not actually going to do anything. So I'm just going to create a standard object. And I'll set a status property to OK. And then I'll echo JSON encode object. And since this is a JSON object, I also have to set the right header. So that should be enough for testing purposes. Let's go ahead and see how we're doing so far. I'm going to reload, and I'll drag all 5 pictures in, and then I'm going to watch the network, and I'm going to click the OK button. All right, so I got my 5 posts. So this was file 062, file 025, 030, and so on. So this all looks good. And then the response is just status OK. So now let's write the callback to actually do something useful. And what I'm going to do is when that success callback is called, I'm going to remove the file from the list of files, and I'm also going to increment the number of uploaded files. So first, to remove the uploaded file, I'm going to go to the files array, and I'm going to use the splice method for that. So splice can be used to either remove things from an array or to add things to an array, and it destructively modifies the array, so here I don't have to say files equal files.splice. And what I want to splice is the files array dot index of file. So basically that takes this file here and it finds it in the array of files and then returns the position. And then I want to splice one thing out. So what this will do effectively is remove the file I just succeeded in uploading from the files array. Then I'm going to increment upload count. And finally, I'm going to call my update file list. So let's go ahead and try it now. And if I hit OK, yeah, they all get removed from the list one at a time. And it was a little quick, so a little hard to see. But let me get a pictures folder that has more pictures in it. So here's a bunch of pictures, 27 of them. Great, so it's removing each one from the list. And what I also want to do is display the list, the count of uploaded files. So I'm going to add a box for that to the HTML. And I'll put this in a paragraph. And I want to show this even if there are no files in the upload list, so this goes outside of uploading files. So I'll call that update count message. And then every time I update the file list, I also want to update the count message. So what I'm going to do is right here, if update count is equal 0, then update count message is just going to be empty. So when you open the dialog, you won't see a message there at all. Else if upload count is exactly 1, then update count message is uploaded 1 file. And finally, anything else, so that's going to be more than 1, is going to be uploaded space plus upload count plus space files. Okay, so that'll show the message. So let's try that. So I'm going to make that a little smaller, and I'm going to drag over here. So I'm not seeing any text yet, which is good. So just drop your content here. I drop my content, click OK to upload the following files. Still not seeing a message, and then I'm going to hit OK. Great, so it shows me my updated count. And then if I upload 3 more images, 4 more, still showing the same upload count. If I hit OK, 31. Try one more, 35. Then if I cancel and drag back in and hit OK, it gets reset. So everything seems to be working correctly. So the last bit is to process the file in the back end.